it's true. And you know, it's so funny where I've seen where it's like my dad won't listen to for a long time. Actually, lies. My dad had very, very good taste in music, and I think a lot of my love for music came from what we used to listen to the car and stuff like that, and like driving and all those type of things. Englishman in New York, or like a lot of Celin Dion. Yeah.
Oh, Jamaicans love Celin Dion.
Listen,
I think she's Jamaican.
Friend, no, I've heard you lot's reggae versions, and I think that they're disrespect and they're bastardizing.
Whoa!
Listen, and I think that they're bastardizing the Celin Dion songs.
Nah,
That's
Lyndon.
what I think.
Lyndon, tell your friends.
You want to say that while you're there in Halsden? You want to say?
I didn't say all reggae music. I said leave Celin Dion's songs the way that they were.
Celin owes a lot to Jamaica. She owes so much to Jamaica.
We don't give her money on a daily basis. The royalty she's getting from the small end of Jamaica and the Jamaican diaspora around the world. What? We're paying for her new extension on her mansion.
She's getting money anyway, baby. Trust and believe. But she's appreciative of you lot's contribution. Thanks. But I feel like musically, sometimes it doesn't have to be redone. Sometimes you can listen to a song and be like, you know what, I appreciate it. Let me leave it there. Do you know, yeah?
Oh, that's rubbish.
Listen, do you know Robin Thicke's Superwoman, yeah? For years, I didn't know it was Robin Thicke's song. I only knew the reggae version, and I like the reggae version. That's why. Yeah?
It's the best version, that's why.
Yeah, I like the reggae version. However, the Celin Dion songs with Uncle Errol singing them, yeah?
Don't be rude, please.
Nah, don't do it. Don't do it. I've got two brethren whose father's name is Errol. Allow it.
No, you can change it to Delroy. Unfortunately, that's not what I like, isn't it? That's not my favourite version. But back to the music, yeah? My dad used to listen to like lots of secular music in the car all the time.
What?
Yeah.
What you allowed to do that?
No. When we were growing up until maybe about probably 10, 11, he used to listen to secular music all the time. We had loads of CD collection, and then suddenly he was like, no, secular music is wrong. But he was the kind of person, and like eating meat, he became a vegetarian, but he's the kind of person before that would stand up in church and say, eating meat is right. And anyone that tells you not to eat meat is a liar, yeah? And the same, I think, probably with music. He was just back into his music, and then he decided, actually, no, I'm not going to listen to secular music. However, when we were growing up, we used to go to our cultural dancing like classes, and our cultural dance is complete. It's not like the typical or the stereotypical like shaking the bum and whatever. It's not like that. So maybe that's what made him feel like But
that was an act.
What do you mean?
The stereotypical shaking the bum.
Yeah, because Ugandans shake their bum. Some Kenyan cultures shake their bum. Loads of even Nigeria.
Everybody.
When you were in a troupe, we were in a dance troupe until I was probably about in my teens. Yeah. That's the point. And we danced with Paul Kagame as well when he came to London. We danced. I'll show you. Don't worry. Don't worry, I got you. Don't worry. But that's not what we're talking about. Stay, concentrate. All right. So he continued to let us go. Like we used to go every single Sunday without fail. And obviously we're listening to folk music that is not Christian music, but it nearly takes up a different, like it's not like it to him, it was like, well, it's not secular music as in the West. It might not be church music, but this is still part of my culture and I still accept it and I still enjoy it. And I don't see any issue or wrongness in it. So back to your initial question about like balancing like cultural aspects and thinking through like what does God ask me to let go, and what am I letting go because of pressures from another culture that doesn't understand or even desire to understand my culture and heritage. I think you just have to think about it like logically, and it might be different for everybody, but as long as you're okay with it and your spirit and your soul, you talk to Jesus.
What if your cultural music is Bashment?
I was about to say.
What if Bashment is important to your culture?
Bashment should be important to everyone's culture.
It already is. It is. It is.
But
can you send me some a very famous Bashment lyrics on here, please. Or
Right.
even you can speak them out.
Okay.
I can sing you. I can say one for you. Just touched down in at the airport. Mm-hmm. There you go. It's a nice song about getting to the airport. Excited.
I can't think of one that's appropriate, to be honest with you. I can't think of one. All the ones that I like are terrible.
Oh.
No, no, I have another one. Uh-oh, here we go. Summertime is here, you know. Holidays, school is closed. That's a nice little summertime song.
Do you know what? I think it was summertime in the and not country. I thought it was summertime in the summertime in the something else. And I thought, but you know what?
And I said, Angela, doesn't make any sense. She goes, I don't know. It's a Bashment song. I said, it's not a soca song. I'm sorry. Our songs make sense.
No, soca is a little bit more ambiguous with it. The same with reggae. They're more ambiguous, probably more so than soca. It goes, reggae is more ambiguous what they're saying, and then soca, and then Bashment. Bashment just beats it. And there's some things that Bashment, like they start saying things in the song, and I just think, I haven't even thought that in my head. That is not even, you're teaching my inner mind a new word.
Good. We're here to educate.
Friend.
Soca is carnival music, so I don't understand how you can. I think soca's up there with Bashment.
I agree.
They're there together.
They're not in the explicitness. Please be serious.
We just can't hear the lyrics because it's so fast.
Well, I mean, good on them, but let's be serious. In explicitness, Bashment, you guys have the Bashment people have a star. They've reached the peak, the pinnacle, and they deserve that crown.
Do you know why? Because we do everything with excellence.
Absolutely. But I don't think we can fully accept that and follow Jesus.
Well, we wouldn't have Bashment. We wouldn't have Bashment in church. You'd have reggae in church. But you know, my grandma, who goes to Royal Flat Church in Mandeville, she would never have any sort of like reggaeization of anything. Whereas my dad, we would listen to reggae hymns, reggae gospel music all the time. We had reggae gospel hits 1, 2, 3, and volume 5. I don't know what happened to volume 4. Guys, my hand is itching me so much, and I don't know why. And it's only been.
It means that you're going to get money. Is that your right hand or your left hand?
It was both. It was this hand first, and now it's this hand.
That means that you're going to get money and you're going to lose money in the same way.
I'm going to lose it spending it.
You're already planning it on ASOS.
I am. I really hope I get.
That's another superstition.
Hold on, is it meant to be your palm that's itching?
No. I think it is meant to. Yeah, but who said your palm? Why can't it just be your hand? Because it's that.
Oh, it's the back of your hand.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't mean anything.
Because the only way I only know this because Lil Wayne said it in the lyric. So.
Oh really?
Lil Wayne did say something about his palms itching, so he's about to get money.
So no, I thought that was a Caribbean thing. So obviously it's a black thing.
It's a black thing. Even in Africa, they say the same thing. And if your ears are burning, that's someone speaking about you.
Yeah, I think that was universal.
Can I tell you one more? I feel like I need to start. But anyway, I'll tell you the story. One other time that I feel like my dad doesn't do anything about superstitious stuff. Like it's not like he tries to stay away from it, like proper superstitious stuff. But one time, I was looking for my book bag for secondary school, and it was like one that goes over your shoulder, and I looked for days. I looked for like 2 days, and then randomly I looked in the garden. No, my dad looks in the garden, and he said, "Your bag is out here." And the straps looked as if they had been cut, and those straps were like they weren't like very easy material to cut. It was like you'd have to have tried, yeah, but it looked like it cut properly. And when he first brought it into the house, he sat me down and he said, "Have you like wronged anyone? Have you, yeah, are you sure, like who's he been mixing with?" All of that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, it was just one of my sisters who pissed off at me and tried to get back at me, cutting my bag and throwing it outside.
Oh my gosh.
It was like, there's no way your sisters would have done this. or that I can't remember who it was. There's no way one of them would have done this. No one in this.
I don't remember which sister it was.
I can't remember who it was, but it definitely wasn't no super. Like someone in that house did it. It wasn't It didn't like suddenly rise up and go to the garden and then the straps just are cut in half. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I think many people from certain countries and certain cultures are really struggling to shake off all the superstition. They're really struggling because they've since they were young. When that's ingrained in your brain, you're always going to think that. That's why when I said Duppy, Fabrice got afraid.
To be honest, I'm still afraid. And guess what? I don't mess with Duppies. And you think it's a joke? It's not a joke, everybody.
It is a joke.
Can I ask a question? What do we think about Voodoo, the island of Hispaniola, Dominican Republic and Haiti? Because I've been hearing and seeing and reading some things. What do you guys think about that? Because you know what? I had an experience when I was 17 in New York and I will never forget it. And okay, I'll tell you a story. I wasn't going to say anything because I just thought actually I could incriminate people. But as we're here, story time. When I was 17, I went to go and live in New York for a year. My dad's first cousin lived there. They were very, very good friends. And actually, my dad used to live in New York for a while when he was younger. So I couldn't go to, that's not important. I went to New York for a year. So we lived in a huge apartment building. It had 5 floors, which I didn't know, by the way. I thought it was only 2 because I'm an idiot. But my uncle and his best friend had bought the building. So it was like a large townhouse. And so like each floor was an apartment. Quite big apartments, and my uncle done quite well for himself. So all I knew was that the person above us was my uncle's best friend, and then my uncle had rented out like 2 floors beneath us, but I didn't really realize at the time. And then there was the basement. So I was in New York, and I arrived in New York, I think in October, maybe like beginning of October. And then obviously I experienced my very first New Yorkan weather, like winter, and the snow was out of control. So like, as I'm sure you guys both know, in America, especially in New York, what you need to do is you have to shovel the snow in front of your front door, in front of your path, because if you haven't shoveled the snow and somebody walks past and falls over or injures themselves, and they can technically sue you. I don't know.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So when it became really bad, I remember it must have been, I think early December, I opened the front door and I promise you the snow was as high as me and I'm 5'4". And I was like, I can't see out the door. All I can see is snow. It's a madness. Anyway, like a week later, my uncle's like, okay, right, get up. We're all going to have to go and shovel the snow. And I was like, okay, no problem. So we were outside shoveling the snow, and now my uncle's best friend came. Now him and his best friend they weren't really good friends anymore. I don't know what had happened, but I always said hello to him because you have to have manners. So the best friend walks in now and he can see us all shoveling. And I think there was some sort of conversation between my uncle and this guy. And my uncle had said to him, can you help us shovel the snow? I think he said, no, I don't have time or whatever. There was a little bit of a scuffle. I don't really know why. My uncle's friend went up the stairs and my uncle's really angry. Anyway, the friend came downstairs a little bit later on, but we had already shoveled all the snow, so it was now redundant. And then my auntie, so my uncle's wife, so she was married into the family. She was like, I've had enough of him. He gets on my nerves, blah, 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 blah. So she was like from the Dominican Republic. So I was like, oh, okay, no problem. Anyway, she was really angry the whole night. And then I will never, ever forget, we went back inside the house. She rushed into her bedroom. She took out a doll and she stabbed the doll like in the knee. I swear to God, as Jesus as my witness, that's why I'm scared of Duppies. She stabbed the doll in the knee. The next morning, I wake up and my aunt's like, oh my goodness, have you heard the news? And I said, what, there's more snow? She's like, no, your uncle's friend, he's fallen down the stairs and he's broken his leg in 3 places. Let me tell you, the man never walked again. Ever. He never walked again. I think he had to leave the apartment because he couldn't like get up and down the stairs. And madness. And my aunt was like, oh, it's so sad. It's so sad. Friends, I was worried. I called my parents.
He's not walking.
Today, he doesn't walk. I called my mum, and back in them times, there was no smartphone, no Instagram, no WhatsApp, no Bebo, no nothing. I walked to the dollar store. I got a call and I said to my mum, you need to get me out of here. I can't stay in this house with that lady. Because what happens if one day she's had enough of me and she starts stabbing up a doll looking like me? Nah, never that.